Alright, so this video is going to be pretty controversial. I know that the comment section is going to be all over the place. And, I don't blame anybody for disagreeing with me at all. But I want to go ahead and put my 2 cents in on this topic because I spoke on this one time in the past, on TikTok actually. And the response that I got on that video, specifically from women, let's just say I was disappointed but not surprised. Okay, I kind of knew that that was the type of feedback that I would get because I believe that a lot of people, especially women these days, have a sense of entitlement. Or, let me not even make it about gender. Men and women both have a sense of entitlement, and I'm here to bring you a reality check that that's not how the world works. Okay, I'm gonna just keep it real with you. Now, okay, like I said, you are entitled to your opinion, I'm entitled to mine. I believe that men should not feel obligated to pay for the first date. Now, does that mean that the woman should have to pay for the man? No, that's not what I'm saying. Okay, all I'm saying is that on the very first date, okay, you're two strangers, mind you. You're two strangers who have never met in person before. That's why it's your first date. I don't think that you should feel obligated to pay for a stranger. And not only that, but I feel like there is no logical reason for calling somebody broke or feminine or weak or whatever for not wanting to go along with tradition. It doesn't make sense to me. And like I said, it all comes back to people having a sense of entitlement. Okay, so for example, if you're walking across the street and a homeless man approaches you and asks you for money and you say no and he calls you broke, okay, that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. So why is it that when a woman calls you broke for not wanting to pay for the first date, that's perfectly fine? Or maybe it's not perfectly fine, I don't know. But, it seems like in their minds it is. And I'm not saying that this is all women. Even my girlfriend now, we split on the first date. And that right there was like, a major factor for me moving forward. That's something that I took with me. It showed me that I'm in a partnership. Okay, she's a team member, not a cheerleader. And I'm going to get into that later on in the video. But, I just feel like it's not right that men feel pressured to do this for the sake of tradition, for the sake of preserving their masculinity. Masculinity is not about any of that. It's not about paying for the first date. It's not about being the provider, all of that. Masculinity is about being secure within yourself, being confident, and standing by your principles. Now, if you believe that, you should pay for the first date as a man, then you are entitled to that belief. If you stand on those principles, that makes you a masculine man. That means that you are in tune with your divine masculine. Okay, and I'm in tune with my divine masculine, hence me making this video. I'm standing on my principles. I don't care what anybody says. Everybody who watches this can disagree with me. I don't care. Okay, you're all wrong. I don't think that it makes sense to pay for a stranger. Okay, a stranger that you have never met. And I learned this the hard way. Okay, I let this happen to me one time, and I told myself that I would never let it happen again for the rest of my life. Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys a little story time to give you some context as to how I came to this conclusion. Now, the first girl I ever dated, or not even dated, but just went on dates with, okay, we split the bill on every single date that we went on. There was no discussion about it. There was no hesitancy on her part to pull her card out or to pay for her part. So at that point, I just assumed that that's how it was supposed to be because I had no prior dating experience. Now, that didn't work out. Okay, that situation didn't end up working out. Difference of intentions. I'm not going to get too deep into that. The second girl that I ever went out on a date with, okay, this is where I realized that there was, a different paradigm out there. That some women do feel entitled to, men's money that we worked hard for. Now, at the time, I didn't really see anything wrong with it because I was a simp. Okay, I was willing to do pretty much anything to try to get to that next step because I had never been in a relationship before. And I just wanted one that badly that I was willing to compromise on my principles. Okay, now, I remember our very first date. This girl told me that she did not believe in splitting the bill. And she didn't really give me much of an explanation why. And I didn't bother to ask her because, like I said, I was desperate. And looking back on it, it's crazy to think about that I was that down bad to not even question it, to not even, pick her brain about why she thinks the way that she does. It's not really right for her to feel entitled to my money regardless, But aside from that, it didn't really occur to me that we were both working at the time, and both of us being, 18, 19 years old, we were making pretty similar money. Okay, we were making about the same amount of money. So bearing that in mind, why should I have to pay for all of the dates? Okay, it doesn't make sense. Now, granted, I pay for the dates with my girlfriend right now. The reason why I do that is because she's my girlfriend, and I'm not obligated to do that. I am not obligated to do that. I do that out of genuine love. Okay, and every once in a while, she'll do something for me as well. For example, she took me to a very luxurious hotel for my birthday. She paid for it, and we work as a team in that way. Now, with that being said, if she was not my girlfriend, if she was a complete stranger, I would not feel obligated, or I wouldn't really feel much pull to go that extra mile for her because she's not mine. Okay, at that point, she belongs to the streets. If you're not in a relationship with me, why should I be paying for you? Okay, a lot of women will try to guilt trip you and manipulate you. And I'm not even going to say a lot of women because I don't want you guys to have these negative perceptions of women. But there are women out there, and men too. For any women watching this, there are men that will do this as well. But they will manipulate you and use the idea of being masculine or being a provider to shame you into providing for them when they belong to the streets. Okay, they still belong to the streets, and you are treating them like they are one of your own, which is crazy to me, bro, because, in a relationship, for me personally, I don't want a cheerleader. I want a partner. I want a teammate. Okay, I want somebody who's equal to me. And this is something that I want to talk about because I feel like this first date debate, who should pay for the first date, if you should split the bill or whatever, I think that that's kind of indicative of a deeper conversation that's worth having about, relationship dynamics. Now, I feel like there's a lot of people who, believe that the man should be the provider, the woman should basically be a housewife. And that's how you embrace your masculine or feminine energy. I kind of agree with that in a sense, but I disagree at the same time. And what I mean by that is, as a man personally, and this is probably my ego speaking, I'm not comfortable with the idea of a girl, particularly a girl that I'm in a relationship with, being my provider. I don't want to feel like a girl is taking care of me. But it's not even just the fact that she's a girl. I just like to take care of myself regardless. I'm an independent person. Okay, I like to take care of myself financially, emotionally, every aspect of my well-being. I want to be there for myself. I don't want to develop a codependency on a girl or on anyone else because at the end of the day, I'm all I have. And on the flip side of that, I don't want a girl that's codependent on me because me being independent, I'm hustling, I'm doing my thing. If a girl is codependent on me, if she's relying on me to provide for her and to give her a certain type of lifestyle, then she's holding me back. She's holding me back from living the type of lifestyle that I want to live. Okay, so the only way for it to work is for the woman to be holding her own. Okay, she has to be holding her own weight. And, I think that is necessary, not even so much for the financial dynamics, but just generally speaking, if you want a good, healthy, balanced relationship where both partners are independent but choose to be with each other. Okay, for example, me and my girl do not need each other to be happy, but we want each other badly enough that we choose to be together every single day. She doesn't need me to be happy. She's independent. She is a, strong, independent woman, as some might call it. And the reason why this is very attractive to me is because I know that she doesn't need me. She doesn't need me to be happy. She's not going to leech off of me and hold me back from going where I want to go in life. She's going to assist me and guide me where she can and work with me as a team to get to where we both want to go in life because we have common goals. That's why we're a good couple. Now, I feel like, with the idea of a high value man, especially in this day and age, people have bought into the idea that a high value man not only doesn't need a girl that can provide for herself, but doesn't want a girl that can provide for herself because they want a woman who is agreeable, keeps peace in the house and things like that. And to me, those types of men are, I'm not going to say weak, but those are the types of men that tend to be very toxic. They tend to be toxic. They tend to be maybe a little narcissistic. They're only focused on their own perspective in life, and they're not thinking about how their actions affect other people. Okay, they're only concerned about how they can gain as much power as possible. But in reality, a lot of them don't have power over themselves. They don't have power over their own emotions. And that's why they need an agreeable woman to stroke their ego. But, that's none of my business. Anyways, I feel like personally, like I said, I don't want a cheerleader. I want a teammate. I want somebody that I can work with. Okay, somebody that compliments me very well. Because at the end of the day, I don't care, how high value of a man you are. 2 heads is better than 1. If you're with the right woman, she's going to push you forward. Now, I understand that some people don't believe that because maybe they haven't been exposed to that type of woman before. Or maybe they have been, but they're intimidated by that type of woman. And, like I said, it all comes back to your ego and the sense of entitlement. Okay, this is the men's side. Men have that same sense of entitlement in terms of, feeling like a woman should basically be there to stroke their ego and provide moral support. Now, the thing about me is that I've developed the ability to do that on my own. I don't need moral support. I don't need emotional support. I don't need any real support outside of myself in that way. Being an independent person and being an introvert, I've learned to fulfill these feelings from within. So bearing that in mind, why do I need a woman to do that for me? Now, like I said, that also goes for finances. I feel like I want to be financially secure in my own right. So I don't need a woman to come in and, provide for me in that way either. I can provide for myself in all ways. But the key is I want a woman that can provide for herself in all ways as well. If we are both capable of providing for ourselves in every conceivable way, that means that, like I said, we don't need each other. We want each other. And that, in my opinion, is true love. True love is where there is no codependency. There's interdependency by choice. You choose to be together because you want to be together. And because you want to be together, you learn to develop a certain level of vulnerability with that person. And obviously you can't be in a relationship and not depend on that person at all. But me and my girlfriend in particular have a very balanced relationship. We're very, very balanced in every conceivable way. That's one thing that I really, really love about my girl is that she does not feel entitled. She doesn't make me feel like I'm obligated to pay for her. She does things out of the kindness of her heart, and she expects me to do the same. And that doesn't always mean picking up the bill. That can mean doing other things for her. And we do things for each other out of love. It's not about who has more power in the relationship, because we have equal power, because we're a team. We work together. Now, you guys have to be wary of the woman that says that you're broke for not wanting to pay for her. Those are the same types of women that will leave you when you do go broke because you're paying for her. Okay, she will be the reason why you go broke, and then she'll leave you when you do go broke. You have to be mindful of women like that. If they call you broke for not wanting to pay for them, the chances are they're broke and they're trying to manipulate you into doing so. And they'll bring up the idea of tradition and masculinity. Look, man, it's 2021. Okay, it's time to start challenging tradition. How else can you make progress as a society? You have to learn to challenge traditional beliefs. Okay, and some people don't want to do that. Like I said, if you believe that the man should pay for the date and you are firm in that, then cool, you go and do that. But ask yourself why you have that belief.